It's probably the hardest election decision I've ever had to make because I'm basing it off of not my personal self, but my core belief of who Trump is inside is what's driving me towards Kamala.
This is Clayton County, Georgia, just south of Atlanta, where more than 84% of voters picked Biden in 2020. That makes Clayton the most Democratic county in all this year's swing states.
2020, when Biden won, it was Clayton County who turned Georgia blue and got Biden the presidency.
How so?
Our people turned out. Clayton County turns out. We expect the same for Kamala Harris.
Almost 300,000 people live here, and nearly 70% are Black. The campaigns are fighting hard for these voters. Kamala Harris was just here with Stevie Wonder. We spoke to people at Black-owned businesses about what they were thinking in the last weeks before the election.
I'm really not into politics, but Kamala Harris, her movement, I will say I support two things that she said and is doing. The $20,000 loan thing for the Black entrepreneurs, I really like that because it gives us a chance to, get our businesses up off the ground. And another thing is she's trying to legalize marijuana. Because, a lot of us get locked up just for our cars smelling like weed. It's a lot of synthetic weed out here, a lot of fake weed that's, bad for us.
You want it to be legalized and regulated.
Yes, and what gets me the most is it's banned in the South, where it's mostly African Americans or Black people down here. But up in the other states, the Union states, the blue states, whatever you want to call them, it's legalized.
Well, who would you vote for if you do decide to vote?
I don't know, maybe Harris.
And why?
Just listening to some of the stuff that she's said so far as like helping people. I'm big on helping.
So why would you be undecided right now then?
I would have to say because this will be my first time.
Yeah.
First time, like, woo, okay. My mom, none of them, they've never done it, so.
We found a little more ambivalence about Harris than we expected based on past voting here.
I'm indecisive. I'm gonna be straight up with you.
That's okay. Tell me more. Why?
Because it's two of the lesser evils. They're all bashing each other and saying this and saying that. Then I take that and I go do research. When I research it, I'm like, but I do know one thing. Trump is so bold that if the aliens is coming, he gonna tell you.
So in an Independence Day scenario,
yes,
he would tell you to evacuate.
He would tell. So I mean, he can't keep his mouth shut.
What are your constituents saying about the election?
You get a mixed bag of peanuts. You get a lot of people that say, go Kamala. You get a lot of people say, I'm not into politics. And then you even have voices say that I'm voting for Donald Trump.
Early voting numbers were really high.
Woo.
What do you think that means?
I think that means people have something to vote for. I think that people are impassioned, emboldened. They're excited to vote for something. I'm just hoping they're voting for Kamala Harris, honestly.
We are house divided.
Really?
At this time, my husband, he's more leaning towards the Trump side, and I'm leaning more towards the Harris side. But I'm still trying to persuade him to come to the other side.
And what is his objections?
Well, he just doesn't feel that like a woman is fit for the job, so to speak.
What you getting, 10th fade? And then we bringing the top down. I'm gonna be honest with you. During his time in presidency, a lot of money was flowing around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was kind of like my reason for being like, hey, if you're gonna do that again, you run that back. He does a lot of stuff for shock value, just to get you to look at him. You know what I mean? So I don't really be taking none of that stuff serious. I'm gonna take my time with it, cause it's like the lesser of the two evils type of thing.
One topic of conversation has been the idea that some men don't want to vote for a woman president. Do you think that's a factor?
I hear that a lot.
Yeah. What do they say?
Women are too emotional to run the country.
What do you think of that?
What do I think of that? I'm married. You think I'm about to answer that?
Well, what do you say to them?
What do I say to them?
Yeah, when they say that.
I tell them the same thing I told you. I'm married, and my wife run my household. So, you know what? If they run the household like that, they could. I believe they can do it. I just thought about it. I believe a woman could run the presidency. I believe that.
I've never seen a president tweet so much out of emotions. So to say a female cannot run the country because of emotions, and then the person she's running against stay on Twitter all day reacting because of emotions, doesn't make sense. There are some men that are very much emotional. Their emotions might come out in different ways, anger, rage, but it's still an emotion. If y'all say a woman can't run the country because she's emotional, well then he can't run the country because he's emotional. And that's all we got. It ain't like we got 10 candidates to pick. We got 1 and 2. So it's, you want the emotional female, so to speak, when I say, and I'm quoting it, emotional female since women are emotional, or do you want the emotional male?